Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Channa Vallabha Girivadodari Gopi Channa Vallabha Girivadodari Yashoda Nandana Rajajana Rahanjana Jamuna Tiro Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Vrindavan Dham. I'm dying to get back. Mahamantra knows. Hare Krishna. I haven't been back to Vrindavan in 3 years and 7 months. I'm dying to get home. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you very much for letting me and inviting me and welcoming me so nicely. I'm extremely grateful, very, very grateful for all the assembled Vaishnavas here. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhupaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you so much. I felt Krishna's love through all the Vaishnavas. So nice. Hare Krishna. So I'm not, I'm 70, so I'm not seeing well, not speaking well, not so many things well. This is the nature of the material body. It gives out. So I'm going to ask someone else to read the verses. I think we're on 4, 49, and 50. Okay. Tapasya verse, it's ironic. I'm the cream puff, not Tapasvini. But this is what I need to know about Tapasya. So I'm really grateful to do these 2 verses. Preaching to the person who needs to hear it the most. So who will chant the Sanskrit? Thank you. You have microphone? Oh, very good. Oh, wait a second. He needs this one. No. Here, give him this one. Definitely need the good one.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम Iskcon 6 अध्याय 4 अध्याय का नाम है प्रजापति दक्ष द्वारा श्री भगवान से की गई हंस गोई है प्रार्थनाएं। श्लोक संख्या 49 और 50। समय यदा महादेवो मम वीर्योपबृंहितः मेनेऽखिलम् एवात्मानम् उद्यतः स्वर्गकर्मणि अथ मे भीहितो देवः तपोतप्यत दारुणम् नवविश्वोऽस्त्रजोजुष्मान् येनादावसृजत् विभो स वै यदा महादेवो मम वीर्योपबृंहितः मेनेऽखिलम् एवात्मानम् उद्यतः स्वर्गकर्मणि अथ मे भी हेतो देव तपो तप्यत दारुण नव विश्व सृजो युष्मान् ये नादाव सृजन् विभो समय यदा महादेवो मम वीर्योपबृंहितः मेनेखिलम् एवात्मानम् उद्यतः स्वर्गकर्मणि अथ मे भी हेतो देव तपो तप्यते दारुण नव विश्व सृजो युष्मान् ये नादाव सृजन् विभो. So now chant one by one. नहीं, दूसरा वैष्णो देवी. दूसरी माता, दूसरी वैष्णो देवी, दूसरा श्लोक पढ़ेंगे. So Mataji, should I read word meaning, translation, purport in Hindi? Okay? Thank you. तो सब लोग मेरे पीछे शब्दार्थ बोलिए. सह वे यानी ब्रह्मा, वह निस्संदेह, यदा जब, महादेवः समस्त देवताओं के प्रधान, मम मेरा, वीर्य उपबृंहितः शक्ति से वर्धित हुआ, मैंने सोचा, खिलम अशक्त इव मानो आत्मानं स्वयं उद्यतः प्रयत्नशील स्वर्ग कर्मणि विश्व प्रपंचों की सृष्टि में. अथ उस समय मेरे द्वारा अभिहितः सलाह दिया गया, देवः उस ब्रह्म ने, तपः तपस्या, अतप्यत संपन्न की, दारुणम अत्यंत कठिन, नौ विश्वसृजः ब्रह्मांड की रचना करने के लिए महत्वपूर्ण व्यक्ति, युष्मान तुम सभी ये न जिसके द्वारा आदो प्रारंभ में असृजत उत्पन्न किया विभुः महान। अनुवाद मेरे पीछे बोलिए। जब ब्रह्मांड के मुख्य देवता ब्रह्मा यानी स्वयंभू मेरी शक्ति के द्वारा प्रेरणा पाकर सृजन करने का प्रयास कर रहे थे, तो उन्होंने अपने आप को असमर्थ पाया। इसलिए मैंने उन्हें सलाह दी और मेरे आदेशों के अनुसार उन्होंने अत्यंत कठिन तपस्या की। इस तपस्या के कारण सृजन के कार्यों में अपनी सहायता के लिए उन्होंने तुम्हारे सहित 9 महापुरुषों को उत्पन्न किया। तात्पर्य प्रभुपाद के द्वारा श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। तपस्या के बिना कुछ भी संभव नहीं है, किंतु ब्रह्मा को उनकी तपस्या के कारण इस संपूर्ण ब्रह्मांड का सृजन करने के लिए शक्ति प्रदान की गई थी। हम जितनी ही अधिक तपस्या करते हैं, भगवत कृपा से हम उतने ही अधिक शक्तिमान बनते हैं। इसलिए ऋषभदेव ने अपने पुत्रों को सलाह दी, तपो दिव्यम पुत्र का येन सत्वम शुद्धेत। भक्ति के दैवी पद को प्राप्त करने हेतु मनुष्य को तपस्या में संलग्न होना चाहिए। ऐसे कार्य से उसका हृदय शुद्ध होता है। इति श्रीमद् भागवतम 5.5.1। हम अपने भौतिक अस्तित्व में अशुद्ध हैं, अतः हम कोई आश्चर्यजनक कार्य नहीं कर सकते, किंतु यदि हम अपने जीवन को तपस्या द्वारा शुद्ध कर लें तो भगवत कृपा से हम आश्चर्यजनक कार्य कर सकते हैं। इसलिए तपस्या बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है, जैसा कि इस श्लोक में बल दिया गया है। हरि बोल। अगेन ट्रांसलेशन। अनुवाद फिर से। जब ब्रह्मांड के मुख्य देवता ब्रह्मा यानी स्वयंभू मेरी शक्ति के द्वारा प्रेरणा पाकर सृजन करने का प्रयास कर रहे थे, तो उन्होंने अपने आप को असमर्थ पाया। इसलिए मैंने उन्हें सलाह दी और मेरे आदेशों के अनुसार उन्होंने अत्यंत कठिन तपस्या की। इस तपस्या के कारण सृजन के कार्यों में अपनी सहायता के लिए उन्होंने तुम्हारे सहित 9 महापुरुषों को उत्पन्न किया।
Hare Krishna. So I'm going to also go a little in English from exactly what we have here. It says, nothing is possible without tapasya. Nothing. And it's saying, Lord Brahma, however, was empowered to create the entire universe by his austerities. So similarly, Iskcon has been created based on the Agyata Sukriti, the tapasya of Srila Prabhupada. It's going on automatically? I can just talk? Woohoo! Yay! I've never done it where, this is great, because I was thinking, oh boy, my thought will be broken and I'm going to be lost. So thank you very much for that. Wonderful. I appreciate it very much. What's that? Oh, very nice. Just because tapasya is just, obviously there's renunciation and tapasya have some similarities. It's really one of the opulences of the Absolute. Very much an opulence to be able to do anything in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is tapasya. And in this age of Kali, the tapasya is singing and dancing. Hari Bo! Hare Krishna, are we the luckiest people in the whole planet? That's our austerities? Singing and dancing, Hari Nam Sankirtan, Ki Jai? Are we lucky? People pay big money to go to nightclubs to sing and dance. We can do it for free. And what are we doing? Touching the hearts of everyone, whether they know it or they don't know it. Even the dogs, the cats, the little insects, everyone is benefiting by Hari Nam Sankirtan. So what did Srila Prabhupada do? He did the tapasya. He did so much tapasya. He prepared his whole life. Then he took this difficult journey. Great difficulty is in here. Extreme difficulty. Mother Yashoda, 2 inches too short. The rope was always 2 inches too short until she was exhausted. Krishna sees what we're not doing, not what we're doing. We're not the doer anyway. He's giving us everything. He sees what we're holding back. And the advancement is in that little extreme difficulty. That's where we make advancement, right there, where it's the toughest. That's when we're giving. That's when we're focusing on the goal. And let me tell you, I went on standby to save the temple money. I kept thinking to myself, standby airplane, you don't know if you're getting on, you don't know if you're not. I'm waiting at the gate 12 hours, thinking, I'm getting to Vrindavan. This is good. I'm getting to Vrindavan. Focusing. If we focus on where we're going and what we're doing for the pleasure of Krishna, no matter what it is, it seems a little hard. It's not hard. Not at all. Extreme difficulty becomes sublime pleasure. If we are remembering, we have to hear about Krishna's glories, and we have to remember about Krishna's glories, and we have to speak Krishna's glories. If we're remembering, all this austerity is nothing. Prabhupada said, crossing over birth and death is like crossing over the hoof print of a cow. If we're empowered, if our mind is focused and our heart is open, then tapasya, renunciation, is easy. We're healthy. We're in our Sanatana Dharma, our position of constitutional loving service to Krishna. Loving service to Krishna. Tapasya, piece of cake. Now, for me to say that, I am, one of my nicknames, Cream Puff, because I'm not an austere person. I'm not austere. I see so many austere devotees. They do so much. They went to Vrindavan when there was no fans. Oh, I needed AC. Now I'm going. It's all a facility. But there are devotees, pioneer devotees. In the old days when we were young, it was easy, because we thought we could live together forever in these young, vibrant bodies, no aches, no pains. Because at that time, I didn't even know, it's like when Prabhupada said this material world is suffering, I was like, what suffering? I don't see any suffering, I didn't understand. Srila Prabhupada knew. I believe him. There were so many things I was like not understanding. But I figured sooner or later I'll understand. So in a sense, there was almost blind faith. So the more we engage in austerities, the more we become powerful. Why? If we're just in that place where we're doing more than is comfortable. Because usually when we're in our comfort zone, we're in automatic pilot. We are just doing the motions. We're not thinking, we're not feeling, we're not willing. We're just doing our automatic, whatever our ritual is. We're not emotionally invested in the tapasya. We're not dedicated. Krishna wants that. He's squeezing for the juice of our love. And that comes right in the tapasya. That's where you get it. That's where the most advancement is made. And this is a beautiful month, Gita Jayanti, fabulous month. Fabulous month, distributing Gitas. I want everybody to take some vow to distribute a certain amount of Gitas this month. Take some austerity. Tell everybody you know, distribute some Gitas. Krishna took so much austerity that one year he made the Bhagavad Gita go to trial in Russia. Prabhupada's Gita went on trial. As soon as I heard it, I thought, wow, we're going to sell the most Gitas ever. And it was. The greatest PR program ever was Krishna organizing Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita to be put on trial in the atheist country of Russia. Everybody was dying to have the contraband. Everybody wants what they can't have. I know I'm an anarchist like that, and every devotee is. We're completely against the material world and all of the systems of manipulation and control by the demons. This is a world of demons and men who are innocently going along, and our job is to help those innocent ones come back to Krishna. And this world is progressively, in my lifetime, just 70 years, the amount of control that's being exerted on the living entities is phenomenal. When I was young, you could cross everyone's yard. Nobody worried. There was no trespassing. You just walk across everyone's yard. You could just go and say, oh, can I have some of your mangoes? And they would be happy. Go, pick, no problem. Now everyone's got big fences. You can't go anywhere. There's blockades and locks and, barbed wire. And it wasn't like that. Just in my lifetime, it has changed so radically. The control, and has become so intolerable for those who knew something different than that. It's like, there's a song, we got to get out of this place. If it's the last thing we ever do, we've got to get out of this place. This is not a place for gentlemen. Prabhupada said, no place for a gentle person. This material creation and this earth planet at this particular time, it's precarious. It's extremely precarious. So it's saying here, the more we engage in austerities, the more we become powerful by the grace of the Lord. We're empowered. Prabhupada had us do things we never did before. He said, print books. None of us were publishers, printers. None of us knew anything about anything that Prabhupada asked us to do. I sculpted the first Lord Chaitanya deity. I never sculpted a deity or anything in my whole life. But all of a sudden I was deputed to do it. I've never sculpted since. But because Prabhupada empowers us somehow or other, and we bow down and we beg for the Lord to appear, we beg that Srila Prabhupada invited you. You must come. You have to come. I don't know anything, and all I know is Prabhupada said, impossible is a word in a fool's dictionary. That's all. Impossible is a word, and so we're just doing what Prabhupada wants us to do for the pleasure of Prabhupada, for the pleasure of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world, seeing that living entities, they're not going to fall down into the lower species of life because they've gotten some prasadam. They got some prasadam. And you gave them a cookie, you gave them some prasadam. One of my godbrothers was a medic in Vietnam, and he had about 500 very strong, very well-trained Kshatriyas die in his arm, terrified. So the first thing he asked Srila Prabhupada, what were they afraid of? What was going on there? I was a medic, a doctor. All these men died in my arms, terrified. What were they afraid of? And Prabhupada said, he explained about the Yamadutas, and at the time of death, when you're a devotee, we're wearing kanti, we're wearing tilak, and we're taken out, we're protected by the Vishnu Dutas, we're no longer touched by the Yamadutas. So what did he do? And he heard about Yamuna, so he would spray people with Yamuna and get everybody to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So much so that he was called, and then he'd give him a sweet. He'd give him a little prasad. So their material life was blessed. Even, if you think about it, all the holy trees, everything that's sacred has material blessings too. It will protect us from the greatest fear. The time of death is the most terrifying experience that we could go through. And just by chanting Hare Krishna one time, taking some prasad, how austere is that? That's our austerity? Really. Seriously, that's our austerity. Taking prasad and singing and dancing. Boy, Kali Yuga is really discounted. We don't have to go whoo and turn, stand on one leg. We don't have to do any of that. And look at Hiranyakashipu. His tapasya was so great. is all we need to do is share this blissful process of Krishna consciousness. So there it's saying, therefore, Rishabdev advised his sons, Tapo Divyam Putra Kadyena Sattvam Shudyat. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. Here it's said that by the grace of Krishna we get Guru, and by the grace of Krishna we get, by the grace of Guru we get Krishna. And Prabhupada simplified things to such a degree. When the devotees were saying, oh, it's going to be so difficult, he discounted it. I think it was down to 30% Krishna conscious. Then we could go back to Godhead. So, wow, Prabhupada really he cleared the path for us. He made it so easy. And he did the austerity. In the last year of his life, we traveled with him for 3 months. He stayed in a mud hut in Bhubaneswar. It was the last year of his life. He traveled in 3 months' time, Vrindavan, Mumbai, Allahabad to the Kumbh Mela to Mayapur to Bhubaneswar to Puri, and then back to Vrindavan. In 3 months. Who does that? But Prabhupada, even in the last year of his life, he was performing austerities, and he knew that if he stayed on that land, that it would be blessed. He stayed in a mud hut. I don't know about you, but I have never stayed in a mud hut. But Prabhupada, our Savior and King of our lives, who we worship on grand thrones, lived simply, because he was always focusing on Krishna, sharing Krishna consciousness with us. It's just his life so exemplary, and his, like, I'm from Hawaii, and we have a Hawaiian accent, and there's one saying, we with them. So we're with Prabhupada, and being with Prabhupada, he said he'd take us even in the back door. He's giving us this beautiful prescription. They were asking me, what would I take for prasadam? Oh my goodness, I'll have what you're having. It's like prasadam. The real austerity is no prasadam. Really, our lives are so blessed. There's such a blissful life, and still we're thinking, oh, this hurts, that hurts, or this problem, that problem. I know the first portion of my rounds, usually the first 8 rounds, I'm going through a clearing stage, even, just myself, like the to-do list, all the things that need fixing. And then finally I start to get to a little bit of lift off, you know what I mean? It's why I love to chant all at one time, because you really get this purification, and the mud doesn't get thrown back on again, and you just keep chanting, and you're like, it's like stages of the fuselage of the rocket is starting to, and things are falling off, and it's like, okay, you're really starting to hear the holy name. Hearing the name, singing the name. Before Srila Prabhupada's movement got really huge, he used to sing his japa. There was a beautiful tune. I learned the tune from Govinda. He used to sit on this wall at the beach. We call it now Swami Beach Park, but the name is Swansea Beach Park. And it was the first place that he would, when he came to Hawaii, he would take his morning walk up and down the beach in the Swami Beach Park. And there was this young German shepherd, very young, and he would play with Srila Prabhupada. And the devotees were a little alarmed, because usually Srila Prabhupada would lift his cane to the dog, but somehow this dog got the mercy. We don't even know who this dog is, really. His name was Baron, and this dog would come and jump and frolic around Prabhupada and come and touch his dhoti. And even once he ran through his legs. Prabhupada was just amused by this dog. And when Srila Prabhupada left, that dog disappeared. No one could find it. He just, who knows? And the owners were so distraught, where they had signs up. They came to the devotees because they knew he had some kind of special affection for Srila Prabhupada, what had happened. and that dog just vanished. So he was there for a certain amount of Prabhupada's manifest Leela, and then he just probably went back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. And years later, we got the son of the owner of the dog did service for our movement. He was a forensic accountant, so he did free service, a huge amount of free service, and he used to say, "I'm the only meat-eating atheist devotee of Prabhupada." Can you imagine? Prabhupada could give a person who's a meat eater and an atheist the sukriti to do seva. So impossible is a word in a fool's dictionary. It truly is. Nothing is impossible. You may think you know someone. They may be complete atheists. You'd be surprised. Prabhupada will engage them. Their lives can become perfect. And they're taking their first step in devotional service. So here, by such activity, one's heart is purified. In our material existence, we are impure. We're very impure. Limping along. I used to say, I'm limping back to Godhead. Still, we're making progress. We're just going forward. This is good. And therefore, we cannot do anything wonderful. Nothing. We could do nothing without the empowerment of Srila Prabhupada. Without his mercy, what can we do? He's given us such a lovely, blessed life. But if we purify our existence by tapasya, we can do wonderful things by the grace of the Lord. Therefore, tapasya is very important, as stressed in this verse. There was a period, my great aunt died. In the last year of her life, she was blind and deaf due to diabetes. Can you imagine? Blind and deaf for a year. She was my favorite relative. She was vegetarian member of Madame Blavatsky's Theosophical Society and Baha'i, and she had a Buddhist nun who lived on their 5 acres who would eat out of one hand what she could carry once a day. They were very unique people, and so I was astounded because that this was her last year of her life. So for 7 years I took up not eating any sugar because her diabetes was what caused her to be blind and deaf. So I thought, oh, that's terrible, I won't eat any sugar. So I learned, because I'm the mother of children and I'm still cooking, I'm still making all of these things, I learned something in that process. And all mothers know this, especially Indian mothers. They learn how to relish the pleasure of another. Even though I was not eating sugar, I could enjoy that I was feeding my family nicely, whatever they wanted to make them happy. And I never knew this. I thought I had to enjoy it, otherwise there's no enjoyment. But there is a word my daughter taught me. It's called compersion. And it is where you relish the pleasure of another. And it's even just a mundane conception. So the real pleasure is in the tapasya of giving pleasure to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to the Supreme Person. If you can get pleasure out of the enjoyment of others, which multiplies your sense gratification to be like 1 times 1,000,000, you can certainly get so much more pleasure over pleasing your Guru Maharaj and pleasing Krishna. And this particular month is the best month to distribute Gitas for the pleasure of your Guru Maharaj. It's the song of God. It's Krishna himself talking. When we're reading Bhagavatam, when we hit the Krishna's talking, or Kapila Dev's talking, or the Lord, his incarnation is talking, we pay attention. So, Gita is Krishna talking to his very best friend. Such a nice, and all our lives are really a battlefield, and all our lives are pitted against the love of power or the power of love. And the biggest, most beautiful power of love is to love Krishna. That power of loving Krishna, that exuberance, like Jayananda, he manifested that. They called him Johnny Ananda. And everywhere he went, the regular people called him Johnny Ananda because they didn't understand Jayananda was Johnny Ananda. But he was always so loving and exuberant in his Krishna consciousness and sharing Krishna with everybody. Everybody just loved his presence. So happiness is a choice, guys. It's a choice. Choose to glorify Krishna by your own happiness. To glorify this, be austere in choosing happiness. Do your tapasya to sing and dance with love. That's the choice we have, to do it with love or not with love. We can do it like automatic robots. What good is it? Choose love. Choose to love Krishna. Choose to feel the bhakti. That is a choice every single second. Let that be our tapasya. Are there any questions? But we need to talk about Odana Shasti. Yes. Oh, he's asking, how did I come in contact with the devotees? Well, first thing is I picked up Balabhadra hitchhiking. We were going to the waterfall that day. We would go every day, actually. Would take sea bath and waterfall bath every day. And so one devotee was hitchhiking. We'd had very little money, so hitchhiking hitchhiking is you put your thumb out and you get a ride with anyone passing by. So we picked up a devotee hitchhiking. And he was dressed with his shaved head, everything. And then I got back to Godhead magazine, and in that magazine I read one article, Depending Upon Krishna, the Cow, and the Land. That article, I was like, where do you sign? I love this article written by Prabhupada. And that was 1969, and I was doing yoga, vegetarian, wearing a sari, going to the university, taking Hindi. And I met the devotees the first time on Harinam Sankirtan. I was already wearing a sari. It was kind of fascinating. We were going to the Jimi Hendrix concert, and it was canceled. And the devotees were chanting outside. So everybody said, your people are over there. So I went over there to see who are these people. I'm wearing sari, they're wearing sari. And so I joined the Harinam Sankirtan party. And there was this huge conga line because the entire concert had let out because it didn't happen. And all of a sudden the Hare Krishnas were the concert. And so there was this conga line in the park of people chanting Hare Krishna. So that was my first exposure. And Ashram Maharaj and myself met the devotees like officially that day. And later, we moved into the temple the same day too, not even knowing each other. We didn't know each other at all. So just, this, I don't mind this Krishna West concept, but it's not me. I was wearing a sari before I was a devotee, so I said, this is going on. I can see it should be essential, and it may not have to be cultural, but I like the culture. So, and then the summer of '69, I moved into a Kundalini Yoga ashram. And I read teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And reading teachings of Lord Chaitanya, I was an impersonalist. I was distributing the book Impersonal Life. I'd buy it by the case. I thought it was so nice. So a bit of an impersonalist yogi person, defeating there were people selling mantras in our school, the TMers, so I got up and defeated them, why they're selling God. I was kind of an outspoken. I gave a lecture in our church, why you're just Sunday religion. I was in the newspaper. I was kind of radical. So they were trying to convert me into various religions, and I was trying to find what is the real religion, and I asked two questions. Do you believe in reincarnation? And do you believe animals have soul? Because I know what I believe. And I believe in reincarnation, and I believe animals have soul. And all of them got the answer wrong. So I wasn't going to join any of those people that didn't believe like I believe. I know what I believe. So when I read teachings of Lord Chaitanya and was introduced to Lord Chaitanya and saw the picture of Prabhupada, I had a dream that Prabhupada was my guru. I didn't understand it because he was there, surrounded by, I thought, angels, but it was men carrying sticks, which later I understood years later because the sannyasis were, Prabhupada was making sannyasis. So I understood the guru of that ashram. I said that I have a guru. I told them Srila Prabhupada was my guru, even though I hadn't yet started going to Bhagavad Gita classes or anything there at the temple. But that guru became Prabhupada's disciple. Siddhasrup. He became Siddhasrup Ananda Goswami, and he brought 200 of his disciples to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Yes. The monkey mind. Yes, the monkey mind. We preach to ourselves. I preach to myself more than anybody. I'm constantly preaching to myself. We have to remember why we're doing what we're doing. Not that we're just a robot doing it. It's not easy. The Tatastya Shakti thing, sometimes we're covered by Mahamaya. But there's a saying, it's like, okay, we fall down. It's how long we stay down, how long we're in forgetfulness that matters. The more we train our mind, that time becomes less and less and less and less. And after some time, we become akhanda, unbroken in our Krishna consciousness, unbroken. Still there are challenges. I was just thinking about different kinds of tapasya that take place and how Krishna, he activates people. I was thinking of Muchakunda and how he was activated to kill, what was the name of that fellow, Kalyavana or something like, Kalyavana. So it's like sometimes we're called upon to do different things that would seem like, okay, he did so much austerity that he was allowed to sleep for, was it 4 million or 4 billion, some huge amount of years. But then when Krishna wanted him, he just activated right away and he took care of business. So there's many forms of austerity. Ours are very simple. But that mind of ours, we have to preach to it. With our intelligence, we're constantly bringing it back. What is my choice? Why am I doing this? Why am I here? We have to become better than human. Our mind has to become shuddha, purified. And that takes practice and mercy of Guru. 2 things, very huge things. And that continuous process, it becomes like there's nothing else and nowhere else to go. And even just it's like we won't get distracted. We refuse to take the distraction. It isn't easy. Nobody said, that's why it says extreme difficulty. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Yes.
My question, I like the analogy that you gave about the rocket firing.
Yes.
And when you start chanting, after certain rounds, you start reducing the weight.
Yes.
And it goes up and up.
Yes.
You start hearing.
Yes.
Mataji, my question is, it's a wonderful analogy, and I will remember it every day.
Yeah, I like to do it all at once in the temple room if possible. I like to, yeah. That's my favorite because I can feel that. I don't have to go down into any other consciousness. When you chant them all at once, anyway, it's just, it's not always possible, but we get ourselves into these very lucky situations where we can. And then we count ourselves extremely blessed to be able to do that. And if we can, it's ideal. It's ideal.
Share more thoughts about how you feel lighter and lighter as the rocket goes up.
We have to just do this. This is one time we did a Puras-charan, there was 3 of us, where we chanted 1,250 rounds in 3 days. Try that on for size. It's really auspicious. It's really, really nice. We did that. It was during an eclipse. We started during an eclipse because the eclipses amplify mantra. So we take the opportunity, like the full moon, new moon, Ekadasis, all the times when it's a little more chaotic and a little more difficult, it's best to rededicate ourselves during all austerities, all times of difficulty. It's best to bring our mind back to the lotus feet, to understand that difficulty is like that point of where we're really surrendering. It's the surrender that gets us Krishna's, that blissful Krishna's love, Krishna's mercy. That point. Yes.
About austerity, on the Ekadashi, then what kind of austerity we should do? Whether we could, because there are different versions of Nirjala Ekadashi or no food Ekadashi or only fruit Ekadashi.
It's what you can do. I've been flagged from doing the complete fast because I always vomit. So I've been categorically denied the ability to do that because people don't like to clean up after me. And I don't blame them. So you do whatever you can. Like, I used to do Govardhan Parikrama without shoes. Now I cannot. I do it with shoes. So it's like what you can do sometimes decreases with age. But you do what you can. You do what you can for Krishna. Not to the point where you're sick, that's not like that. No. Prabhupada said health is number 1, chanting is number 2, number 3 is service, and number 4 is reading, in that order. He had it handwritten on a brown paper bag above the kitchen door in Hawaii. It was his handwriting. Number 1, health. Number 2, chanting. Number 3, service. And number 4, reading, in that order. Because sometimes we would get ourselves all mixed around and we would work till our health was gone, and that's useless. Prabhupada said, this body is the main pillar by which we execute our Krishna consciousness. It's the temple that we worship the Lord in. We don't let it go into ill repair. We keep it nicely so it can be joyfully sing and dance another day for Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes. Well, Prabhupada said that my grihastas are just like sannyasis because they were doing so much service to Srila Prabhupada, spreading the movement all over the world. And he said, if you have a good Krishna-conscious wife, what is the use of sannyas? And I've seen some sannyasis who had good Krishna-conscious wives, and it wasn't easy for them. So it surely can be almost nil if it's the life of sense gratification, if it is not in service of Krishna, but it is in ashram, and it's meant for advancement. It's meant for increased responsibility. It's not meant for less. It's meant for more. It means you bring your whole family back to Krishna, and it's not. It's complicated because now you have so many people to worry about how they're feeling, how they're thinking, what is going on. You have to concern yourself not only with like your own mind, all of their minds. Like here we are dealing with just our own mind, Hare Krishna. And we're preaching to ourselves. We're having to preach to them too. I remember when because Shruti Kirti and I were married for 30 years or something. And our family was my son, his son, our daughter. And so I overheard one of the children criticizing Iskcon to a friend. And I said, we have to be really careful because they know nothing about. We might complain, how we can improve this way or that way. But if someone knows nothing, we should share the happy, joyful parts of ourselves. And that's tapasya of speech, is to share joy in Krishna conscious, share mercy, not criticism. One year I did, in Purushottam Mas, I said, I'm not going to criticize anyone. Whew, let me tell you how hard that was. That was hard. That was really hard. Austerity of speech. Don't criticize. I challenge you to do it for a day. Hare Krishna. A challenge. Hare Krishna. Yes. Oh, not very much. But just stay for 53 years at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. And he takes us, Hare Krishna. Sing, dance, take prasad. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Just stay. Prabhupada said it's not very amazing people go away. It's very amazing that they stay. Just stay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for a wonderful lecture. So, I want to speak something about the festival today, and this is in the Vaishnava calendar, Odhan Sashti. So, in Jagannath Puri, they start Lord Jagannath, Lord Jagannath wear warm clothes. So, this is Odhan Sashti today. So, according to climate of Jagannath Puri, they use to put the warm clothes to Lord Jagannath. So this is for Jagannath Puri only. So in Mayapur, there are Jagannath deities. In Rajapur, Jagannath deities are there. So Iskcon devotees, so this temple came in the authority of then Iskcon, and the Iskcon devotees were serving Lord Jagannath. So on the Odhan Sashti, they thought that they will put the warm cloth to Jagannath on Odhan Sashti. But in Mayapur, the cold started. So cold season started, and the devotees, pujaris, they are wearing warm clothes, but they do not give warm clothes to Lord Jagannath. So Jagannath did not like this. So pujari got the dream. So Pujari was sleeping and he saw the dream. So in dream he saw that somebody is knocking his door. So he opened the door. So he saw on the naked ground, the Jagannath, Subhadra, Baldev, they are lying, putting their back on the ground, and they are shivering. Shivering. And they are saying, do you think that we are not feeling cold? So Odhan Sashti is for Jagannath Puri devotees, that they will put the warm cloth to the deities. But Lord wants yat karosi yad asnasi yad johosi tadasi yat tapasasi konte tat guru sumandarpanam. Whatever you do yourself, for yourself, you do for me also. So if you put warm cloth yourself, then you offer to me also. So the Lord wants like that. Yat karosi, tat kurusu, madarpanam. Like this. And second thing, in this verse, the Lord is telling 9 Prajapatis. That Brahmaji generated 9 Prajapatis. by his austerity or by the mercy of the Lord. So Lord is telling 9, but we see in third canto there are 10 sons. Brahmaji begot 10 sons from his body, and first was Narad Muni, first was Naradji. So only Naradji did not marry, and other 9 Prajapatis married, and they begot sons. So the Lord is saying 9, Brahmaji begot 9. Why? Because Daksha also wants to marry. Daksha performed austerities, and he saw the Lord. Now he does not surrender to the Lord, but he only takes shelter of the Lord to fulfill his own desire. Daksha's desire is to get married and to be called as Prajapati, and he wants to beget sons. So Daksha did not glorify the Lord, but Lord understood the mind of Daksha. So Lord is, whatever the Lord is telling, in favor of Daksha. Daksha is in favor of getting married. So the Lord is saying Brahmaji created 9 Prajapatis, not 10. Because on 10, Naradji, so he did not get married. So because of mentality of Daksha, the Lord is also speaking in his favor like that. The 10 sons were, first was Narad, second was Daksha, third was Vasishtha, fourth was Bhrigu, fifth was Kratu, and sixth was Pulaha, and seventh was Pulastya, eighth was Angira, and ninth was Atri, and 10th was Marichi. So the verse goes like this: Utsangan Narado Jagge. Narada was born from the lap of Brahmaji. Dakshungushtat. Daksha was born from his thumb, Angushtat. Swambhava. Pranad Vasishtha Sanjato. Vasishtha was born from the vital ear of Brahmaji, and Bhrigustvachi, and Bhrigu was born from the skin of Brahmaji. Karat Kratu, and Kratu was born from the hand of Brahmaji. Palaho Nabhito Jagge, and Pulaha was born from the navel of Brahmaji. Pulastya Karneo Rishi, and Pulastya was born from the ears of Brahmaji. Angira Mukhuto, and Angira was born from the mouth of Brahmaji. Akshno Atri, Atri was born from the eyes of Brahmaji. Marichir Manosvabhavat, and Marichi was born from the mind of Brahmaji. So first was not. So the Lord is telling only 9 Prajapatis were born, while we see 10 Prajapatis are born. So like this, the Lord speaks according to time, place, circumstances, and he changes something. No, there are other sons also. Chhaya Kardamo Jagge, from the shadow of Brahmaji. That may be analyzed. That is homework. There's homework. We can explain in that way also. Yes. Thank you. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.